Notice that the title didn't say the most expensive items you should own. It said quality items worth the investment. Because what I'm finding more and more is these designer brands are robbing us blind. I went to the Hugo Boss store recently and I came across some white sneakers that I was interested in. But when I had them in hand, they felt like plastic. So I asked the sales rep, are these actual leather? Well, one, she couldn't answer me. So she went to the manager. And when she came back, I was shocked to find out they were vegan leather on sale for $150. And if you go through this list more and more, you'll find that these brands aren't selling us the quality they once had when they started their brand. And I don't know if they're doing this to cut costs or increase profit, but whatever the reason, they're selling us crap and telling us that it's gourmet chocolate. And because people are following fashion trends, they're gobbling it up. So instead, today I'm going to go over 9 quality items that are actually worth the investment. They're in no particular order, but in my opinion, number 5 is the one that's going to have the most impact on your life. Let's start with item number 1, and it's high quality leather footwear. And since we started talking about the Hugo Boss sneaker, let's stick with sneakers. Every man should own a quality pair of leather sneakers. And I'm not talking about your retro Jordans. Although I get it, I went through that phase too. I'm talking about high quality minimal leather sneakers. Something with high quality calf skin leather. And I'm suggesting calf skin leather because it's very soft and supple, and over time, it forms to your foot. Take a look at these from Beckett Semanon. These are their Reed sneaker. I've had this shoe for about 3.5 years, well before I started my YouTube channel, but they've held up nicely. And my son always asks me, how do I make my things look so new for so long? Well, I take really good care of my stuff, but in the next video, I'm gonna show you how to make your items last a lifetime. But it's really easy to do when it's high quality leather like this. And if you see these creases right here, those are the creases that are forming to my foot as I stride. And that's what's nice when you pick a soft, supple leather like this. Over time, it ages to your foot, making it very comfortable. Now, you don't have to spend a bunch of money on shoes like this. There are some common projects out there for $500, but there's no need to do that when you can pick this shoe up for $179. And many times it's on sale for $119 and as low as $109. You just have to pay attention to the sales. But I highly recommend that every man who loves wearing sneakers with jeans pick up a shoe like this. Sticking with footwear, the second shoe I highly recommend is a dress shoe. Whether you're doing this as a loafer or you're doing it as an Oxford. I highly recommend that you have one of each. On the loafers, you can go with a chocolate brown, you can go with a black, you can do a dark brown suede. Super versatile. Those are the shoes you're gonna wear when you're putting together a business casual look. But I also suggest that you have at least one cap-toe Oxford. And if it's your first Oxford, I highly recommend that it's a black cap-toe Oxford. Stick with high quality leather and don't be fooled by the term genuine leather. That is the cheapest portion of that hide. And as far as construction, I would try to go with a Goodyear welt construction and no less than a Blake Stitch shoe. That way over time, as that dress shoe sole wears and tears, you're going to be able to replace it and replace that sole for about $50 to $60. And what's nice, when the shoemaker replaces the sole, they tend to treat the leather and shine up the shoe, making it look like a brand new shoe. If you do this right, that shoe can last you 5 to 10 years. Now I know it's tempting to spend $80 to $90 on a genuine leather shoe, but those shoes, the sole is glued to the shoe. So over time, when that sole wears and tears, you're not going to be able to replace the sole. You're going to have to toss the shoe. So it may have cost you $80 in the beginning, but having to do that every 2 to 3 years is going to add up quickly. Instead, save a little bit of money and purchase a high quality leather shoe for anywhere between $180 to $240, and I'll list you a couple of options below. Now, quality item number 2 I'm actually wearing today is a high quality wool suit. And you don't have to spend thousands of dollars on these suits. In fact, the one that I have on today, I got through Alton Lane's custom made program, and I got it for $700, 100% wool. I got to pick the fabric, the lapels, the lining, had a monogram with my initials placed there. I got to go with side clasp instead of belt loops. I had suspender buttons placed on, completely customized to me. Now this isn't bespoke, it's custom made. There's a huge difference. But 100% wool for $700, you can't go wrong. And I know it's tempting to spend $300 to $400 on those suits over at Men's Warehouse and Macy's. But if you look closely, the majority of that fabric is synthetic fabric. So you might be spending $300 to $400 up front, but over time, that suit's not gonna hold up. Polyester doesn't drape nicely, it wrinkles easy, and it's plastic, so it falls apart. And with a few years, you're just gonna have to replace that suit. If $700 still sounds a little bit too steep, Suit Supply has 100% wool suits for as low as $600. If any of you guys have a Brooks Brothers outlet in your area, they have suits for as low as $430. And when you look at the label, they'll have 88% wool. Now that's a lot better than picking up a suit that's 100% synthetic fabrics, or let's say 45% cotton or wool and 55% polyester. That's too much plastic within that suit, and it's just not gonna last. So for $150 to $200 more, 100% wool that's gonna last you years, it's well worth the investment. As far as colors on the suits, do not listen to Steve Harvey. He's a comedian, not a stylist. Every man does not need a black suit. If it's your first suit, I highly recommend you go with a navy blue. From there, you can go into charcoal, a medium gray, and maybe a light gray. And once you have those, and if you absolutely have to have a black suit, then pick up a black suit. But don't let that be your first suit. Now, sticking with the formal, semi-formal look, let's go into quality item number 3 that's worth the investment. And it's a quality blazer or sport coat. And I know that it's two different things, but many websites will use the term interchangeably. For those of you that don't know the difference between the two, a traditional blazer is usually blue. It's going to be of a textured material, maybe like a hop sack. It's going to have metal buttons, and many times the buttons will have the insignia or logo of that brand. That's usually the blazer. Whereas a sport coat is also going to be a textured material, but it might have a little bit of a design, maybe like a herringbone, houndstooth, window pane. It may or may not have patch pockets, and it's usually unlined and unstructured. That way it's easy to dress up or down. Now, what you don't want to do is grab the jacket from your suit and try to wear that as a blazer or a sport coat. That sheen of that material is not going to allow you to wear it with odd trousers, chinos, or jeans. As far as colors on the sport coat, you can always go with the traditional navy blue blazer. If you want to do a sport coat, you can go with blue with different houndstooth or window pane, something textured, maybe a linen blend. You can be creative with the color of the sport coat. I'm going to list you guys a couple of options below. Quality item number 4, I think every man should own a quality leather jacket. And if it's your first leather jacket, I would go with the tobacco color. And the leather that I recommend would be a lambskin leather. That's soft, it's supple, and it has some stretch to it, making it really comfortable. And I know it's also tempting to pick up that faux leather jacket from Burlington, but you're not fooling anyone with that jacket. It looks of plastic, and instead of creasing and aging the way natural leather does, it falls apart. So you spent $80 this year, but you're gonna have to do that again every couple years. Instead, save a little bit of money, and you can pick one up for as low as $300 to $400. But it's gonna last you a lot longer. If leather jackets aren't your thing, another option is a suede trucker jacket. The one that I'm showing you here is from Beckett Simonon. It's their Stratton jacket. It's unlined, very comfortable, very stylish, and it's easy to dress up or down. Whether you're gonna go with the leather jacket or the suede jacket, I highly recommend that you guys have at least one of these jackets in your closet. Now, quality item number 5, and in my opinion, this is the one that's gonna be the most impactful on your life, and it's having a quality mattress and bedding. Guys, if you've gotten into the health kick and your wellness and fitness, and you're going to the gym and you're trying to put on some muscle and you're eating right, but then you fall asleep on this hard, uncomfortable mattress, losing sleep, you're putting a lot of your gains on the table. Remember, we work in the gym, but we recover and build when we're asleep. So if you're not sleeping right, you're missing the boat. So if your mattress is 8, 10 years old and it's dingy, or you can start feeling the springs on your back, it's time to get rid of it. Now, I can't tell you which one to buy because we all have a different preference on the firmness of that mattress. But there's plenty of companies that sell the mattress where you can adjust the firmness of the mattress. And that's great if you have a partner where you guys don't agree on how hard the mattress should be. You can pick up one of those. I'll link you guys a couple of options. Now, the other portion to having quality sleep is having quality bedding. Now, you guys can blame my wife for this one. About 1.5 years ago, she told me that she ordered new sheets, and they're from a brand called Cozy Earth. They're bamboo sheets. And when I saw the price, my jaw dropped. But now she's made me into a bougie sleeper. I cannot get a good night's rest if I don't sleep on those sheets. They're extremely soft. They almost feel like a cotton silk, and they have a cooling effect to them. And if you guys have watched any of my videos, you know that I've told you your body temperature has to drop so that you can fall into a restful sleep. And these sheets help you do that. Now, these are not inexpensive, but if you're trying to focus on quality sleep, I highly recommend these. I'm gonna list you the Cozy Earth brand, but I'm also gonna list you some other affordable options. And what I'd recommend that you do is go with the affordable one first. And if you find that you love how you sleep with these sheets, then invest in the more expensive ones. I'll link them both below for you. And moving on to quality item number 6, it's gonna be a leather wallet. As grown men, we need to stop using novelty wallets that have Velcro on them. We also don't need those big, thick wallets that have every receipt of every purchase that we've ever made, making it look more like a hamburger. And when you put it in your pocket, it's just dragging your pants down because that wallet's so heavy. Get something sleek. I've had this wallet from Johnson & Murphy for about 6 to 7 years. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you how I treat the leather on this wallet to make it last as long as it has, looking so good. But it fits my ID, 1 or 2 credit cards. It has a money clip, nice and sleek. It fits right into my coat jacket. It's not weighing down my jacket. Very comfortable and very functional. But also, it's nice and stylish. Every gentleman should have a wallet like this. And again, you don't have to spend a bunch of money on these wallets. I'm going to list you a couple of options that are very affordable. This one cost me 29 bucks. I just picked up a new one from Ben Sherman for $18. Also 100% leather. I'll link that one below too. Now, quality item number 7, every man should own a quality bag. And I'm going to give you guys 3 options. First, if you're someone that works in IT or a business casual environment, you're fine going with the backpack. But avoid using the backpacks that you used in college. Instead, something a little bit more stylish, very functional, something that has black pebbled leather in the front, something with a lot of room, something that maybe has a handle so you can hold it on your side, or something you can strap over your shoulder. Just because you're going with a backpack doesn't mean that you shouldn't find something stylish. Now, if you need something that goes more with business attire, then you should get a briefcase. The one I'm showing you here was sent over to me by Maverick & Co. This is their Manhattan briefcase. It has Saffiano treated leather, so it's water resistant, metal zippers and hardware. It's very sleek, but surprisingly very spacious. I can fit my Dell XPS 16 in there, my mouse, my hardware, my phone, my charger. So even though it's very sleek, it's very spacious. So after testing this for a few months, I highly recommend this one. It gets a lot of compliments. I'll link it below. Now the third bag in this category is going to cause some controversy. But if you're someone who's trying to elevate their style and you really like the Italian look, then you're going to need a tote bag. Now tote bags are usually extremely pricey. They're going to run you anywhere between $400 to $500, especially when you're talking about high quality leather. The one I'm showing you here is from Quince, high quality pebbled leather. Very spacious. This is something that I would use more for vacation. I wouldn't really be walking around town locally just carrying a tote bag. But I have a trip coming up with my wife next week, and this is going to fit my camera equipment, my wallet, my phone, a water bottle for me and for her. It's very functional, but very stylish. And no, gentlemen, it's not a purse, it's a tote bag. Now moving on to quality item number 8, I think every man should own a pair of quality sunglasses. And I don't mean expensive, I just mean quality. What I'm trying to get you to do here is not use your sports glasses to go with your elevated outfits. Also, waiting in line at the gas station isn't the time for you to buy your sunglasses. Those are just going to fall apart. I know it's tempting because they're 10 bucks, but you're going to be doing that on every trip. But I also don't recommend spending $200 to $300 on a pair of sunglasses. Now, I do have some Ray-Bans that you may have seen in some of my shorts, but I picked these up from Nordstrom Rack for half the price. I'll link them below for you. Or, also through Nordstrom Rack, I picked up these Cole Haans. These are actually my favorite. I got these for 40 bucks. The point with this is that you want your sunglasses to look as elevated as your outfit. Now, number 9 is probably my favorite. Not the most important, that was number 5. And if you've seen any of my videos, anytime I talk about changing a seasonal wardrobe, I always bring this up. And you'll see this in every single one of my shorts, and it's a timepiece. You don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on a watch. If you want to save and invest, great, it'll be an heirloom for your kids. But if you're new to the watch game, I don't recommend you dive that deep. If you've saved up some money and you want quality, but you don't want to spend $10,000, then I recommend going with a Tudor. If you don't mind aftermarket, then you can get an aftermarket Omega like this for as low as $2,000. If you want to do entry-level Swiss, you can go with Tissot, Hamilton, Mido, all great options. If you want to go Japanese entry level, you can't go wrong with a Seiko, a Citizen, even a Casio. The point is you want to find what's your budget, and within that budget, find the best quality in that budget. And you can ask anyone who's gone from wearing a smartwatch with every outfit to actually wearing a nice timepiece. It just does something to your confidence. It actually helps you finish the outfit you've put together. I'm going to list some great quality and affordable options for you guys. There you go, guys. 9 quality items that are actually worth the investment. Let me know which ones I left off and which ones you agree with. And as always, thanks again, and see you in the next one.